Okay. Hi, everyone. I had a question about the drawing tool for the online homework. So I figured I'd explain the drawing tool a little bit because there's some frustration that people often see with the drawing tool. So let's go ahead and look at the online homework. So click the draw structure button to launch the drawing utility. So I need to finish the structure. And one of these has a single bond, the other one has a double bond here. So let's finish this structure. I have to add atoms and lone pairs. And so each carbon should have 4 bonds to it. And so I'm going to click on the drawing tool here and click my bond. And when you draw a bond away from an atom, make sure it's highlighted. Okay, and that's the most common error. I think why people miss this is that they don't highlight that atom. So highlight the atom before you draw your bonds away. If you don't highlight the atom and just draw something like this, that may have actually worked. Okay. Well, anyway, that bond's not highlighted. Let's draw it like this. And it's just like connected. It doesn't recognize it as being connected. It recognizes it just floating in space. So what you need to do is make sure it's highlighted each time, because even though you have a bond there and you look at your answer and you know that's the right answer, if you don't highlight that atom, the computer program doesn't recognize it being connected. So always make sure that that bond is highlighted or the atom's highlighted when you draw bonds. And the same thing when you add atoms to it. And so make sure the end of it's highlighted before you add your atoms to it. Because again, if you do not highlight the end, it's going to just recognize it as a hydrogen floating in space, even though it looks like it may be connected to you. So oxygen should have 2 bonds. So I also need to add hydrogen there. And then add lone pairs. Again, when you add lone pairs, make sure it's highlighted. And then I can just click twice and add the 2. Okay, so there's that structure. Let's go ahead and save and exit. Look at my next one. I have the double bond oxygen here. So my oxygen already has the 2 bonds. This carbon already has the 4 bonds. So these other carbons will need the 4 bonds. And notice each time I'm highlighting that atom when I use the drawing tool. I'm just doing this with the mouse, highlighting the end there to make sure it's recognizing each one of those. As being connected. Put my lone pair of electrons, so I highlight the atom, click it twice to add my 2 lone pairs of electrons. And the same thing if you added a charge or anything to it, make sure the atom's highlighted before you add it. And so I can then check my work, and I've got it correct. So if you do have any problems with a homework problem, there's one you can't figure out, let me know, and I can do the same thing where I can go in and work it for you. And so that is it. Hope that helps. Bye.